pamoja, ushindi kwa ukombozi wetu. Tujitoe wenyewe, tusimame pamoja, kulinda uhuru na umoja wetu. Enyi Bwana na binti wa Afrika, mwili wa jua, mwili wa anga, tuifanye Afrika mti wa uzima. Tuungane sote, tuimbe pamoja, kuenzi shikamano hatima yetu. Tujitoe wenyewe, kupambana pamoja, uhuru na umoja vitawale. Enyi Bwana na binti wa Afrika, mwili wa jua, mwili wa anga, tuifanye Afrika mti wa uzima. Tuungane sote na tujibidishe, kutoa kilicho bora kwa Afrika. Chimbuko la wanadamu, chemchemi ya utamaduni, tumaini letu wakati wa mafarakano. Enyi Bwana na binti wa Afrika, mwili wa jua, mwili wa anga, tuifanye Afrika mti wa uzima.
The Human Rights Watch show here at Human TV Africa. This is the Human Rights show here at Human TV Africa. My name is Kato Mukasa. I'm your host for today. And of course, I want to welcome you to watching Human Rights show at Human TV Africa. I want to encourage you to please subscribe to Human TV Africa. Of course, it is Human TV Africa, the handle you can get on YouTube and Facebook. But also you can write to us an email. Our email is info@humantvafrica.com. Send us that email. But also send us a WhatsApp message on that number right there. And of course, our communication officer will be able to talk with you and get you on board. We are looking for people you can work with, volunteers, researchers, of course, journalists, lawyers, social workers, and all scientists. They are out who are willing to share knowledge with people. We want to welcome you to join us. Remember, Human TV Africa is a registered charity. It is an NGO. We are a non-government organization registered to do the work we do right now. And we have studios in several countries. We have studios in Uganda. We have studios in Kenya, studios in Zambia, Zimbabwe. We have studios in Nigeria and Ghana. We have studios in Sierra Leone. We have studios in the UK. And of course, we have studios in the US. And we are growing. We invite you to join us and be part of a team that seeks to empower, inform, educate, share knowledge, and of course, learn from you. We want to empower each other one day at a time. one village at a time, and of course, one family, one community at a time. This is why we are here. Today is the Human Rights Show. Human rights. As a lawyer, I'm much interested in issues, human rights, and these are issues we handle here at Human Rights, Humanist TV Africa. And today I'm going to talk about rights of prisoners, and specifically in Uganda. This is part 2 on rights of prisoners in Uganda. When I say Uganda, of course, when you're in Africa, these are the same kind of issues we're talking about. Uganda has over 76,000 prisoners. Uganda has over 76,000 prisoners. Yet, the capacity of Uganda's prisons can only take 20,000 prisoners. Listen to this. You have prisons that can only take 20,000 prisoners, yet in your prisons, you have 76,000 prisoners, which means in excess, you have over 56,000 prisoners in excess to your capacity. How many prisons do we have in Uganda? We have 254 prisons in Uganda. We have 254 prisons in Uganda that were designed to take only 20,000 prisoners, that as I speak today, they are taking 76,000 prisoners, from 20,000 to 76, an increment of 56,000 prisoners that are overflooding the prisons. In percentages, we are overflooded by 300%. Now, it means that the rights of prisoners in Uganda are violated. Number one, by poor feeding. The way our prisoners are fed in Uganda is absurd, is terribly bad. They eat once in a day, a bit of beans that you can count with your fingers. You say 1 bean, 2, 3, 4, 5 beans on a plate, and then a little bit of portion, maize flour, or ugali as they call it in Kenya. Now you give someone a bit of portion or ugali and then a little bit of beans, and that meal comes once a day. Now that is rights violation, number one. Poor feeding in prisons. Number two, the way these prisoners sleep is appalling. Remember, they're overcrowded. They're sleeping on each other. And as a result, there are so many diseases coming up. Communicable diseases, contagious diseases coming up within these prisons. And therefore, people suffer and sometimes die because of the poor hygiene in our prisons in Uganda. The other issue that is so much keen to observe is the issue of beatings. Wardens, prisons officers beating prisoners. Corporal punishments is rampant in Uganda's jail. The other issue is, of course, delayed communication with their families sometimes, and of course, delayed justice. You find someone is on remand for over 3 years, for over 4 years. That is against the law, to be on remand for such a long time. Someone should be on remand for a short period of time, and then his case, her case is heard. Now, because of the case overload or backlog of cases in Uganda, you find that so many prisoners remain for so many months on remand. But remember, a prisoner on remand, a person on remand has rights, including the right not to be forced to work, including the right to appear in court, access their lawyers, just like any other prisoner. Now, in Uganda, prisoners are taken to dig on private farms, and this is a violation of their rights. The law says that a prisoner should only work on a government farm and under supervised circumstances and must be paid. But sadly, our prisoners work and are not paid because officers of the prisons take them and give them private work for private gain. This is a violation of prisoners' rights in Uganda. And of course, we have also seen situations where prisoners who went to prison with their pregnancies have lost their pregnancies, like Stella Nyanzi here. I'm going to be showing you her images right there. And of course, delayed justice, lack of meeting with the lawyers, and all these are violations. Having children that are above 18 months, having them in cells, in prisons, is a violation of both the rights of the child, but also the rights of the mother. A child who's above 18 months must not be in prison cells. They must be in a remand home, a foster care home, or a children's center, but not actually in a prison. They must be in a home for children, not a prison. Now, these are rights violations. Poor meals, lack of medication, inability to meet their parents, relatives, and all that stuff. The only right which a prisoner cannot have legally is the conjugal right. The right to have sex, that one, you cannot have it in prisons in Uganda because there are general concerns of spreading of HIV and all these other issues. But other rights should remain available to a prisoner. For example, you can go to prison and see your relative between 9 a.m. in the morning and 5 p.m. in the evening. You can simply go there, show your identification card, and then say, I want to meet XYZ. And the law says they must allow you to access this prisoner. Now, these rights are often violated in Uganda, including beatings, including forced labor for prisoners. These rights are paramount, but in most cases, they are denied to prisoners. I'm going to request our producer, Brian, to show us some of these images as I continue to explain how these rights are being violated in Uganda. This is Rights of a Prisoner. Our program is Human Rights Watch, and of course, we're talking about Uganda and how these rights have been violated. Please let us look at those photos about the rights of prisoners in Uganda. Now, there is a case I'm just reporting today, a case of someone who's famous. She's called Mole Katanga. She has been sick and she was produced to courts of law, the Magistrate Court of Nakawa, and she was brought in an ambulance. Now, that was her right, because she is sick. She was brought to court, a magistrate's court, with through in an ambulance. But because she is coming from a powerful family, not that, she's associated with the first family. The lady is called Molly Katanga, and the case is a case of murder of a husband. Now, she was brought to court with escorts, with an ambulance. But remember, the culprit, the suspect, on remand is from the first family, has an association with the presidency. Now you can see how they have been treating her. They are giving her the rights she has to be because she's sick, she has been injured. But not all prisoners in Uganda are actually given this ambulance, actually given this protection. Why was Mole Katanga given the protection and given all these vehicles? Because these are her rights as a sick person on remand, but these rights are not given to other people. Please show us other images. I want to show you how there are double standards in treating prisoners in Uganda. This lady here you're going to see in these photos. Please show us more photos. She was escorted, guarded by so many police officers and prison warders, given so many powerful lawyers in Uganda. Why? It's a high-profile case. Now, that is the magistrate's court at Nakawa. It just happened a few days ago. And I want to show you how Uganda offers selective justice, offers selective human rights. This person here, who has been incarcerated over an alleged murder of a husband, she's called Mole Katanga. Please show us more images. Show us more images as we conclude this. That lady there, she had been wounded, she had been sick. She was brought to court with full attention of police officers. She was properly guarded. And these are her rights because she's a sick prisoner. And she was surrounded by all these prison warders who must be female because she's a lady. But the rights you see given to Mole Katanga are not the same rights given to other prisoners in Uganda. Why? Mole Katanga comes from a powerful family that is connected to the presidency in Uganda. And there is a case of murder. You can see the Attorney General right there, and you can see former ministers, bigwigs in court, former Attorney General and the others in court, public coming to view this big profile case at Nakawa Magistrates Court. Now, this lady, why do you talk about her? Because she has been given her full rights as a sick person on remand. Yes, she is on a murder case, yes, but she remains with her rights. You can see how people come to demonstrate. And this is also allowed to go to court and demonstrate peacefully. You put on a t-shirt and say, "Justice for Katanga, the man who was killed." Now, the relatives have come to court and say, "We want justice for the dead man, justice for Katanga," and they're putting on these t-shirts. Now, this is allowed in law. You can protest, including in court premises. It's allowed. But how do you protest? You protest peacefully. Put on t-shirts. Don't make noise. Respect the court premises, but you can protest. You can see the publicity that was being given to Mole Katanga. Is this publicity just fine? Did she have a right to privacy? Now, this is another high-profile case that was abused completely because she was on opposition. She's an opposition. This is Dr. Stella Nyanzi, who is currently in exile in Germany. She was a writer and she was incarcerated for almost 3 years in Uganda's prisons for simply writing poetry. And this is her lawyer, Nicholas Opio. This lady was imprisoned and she lost her pregnancy right inside Uganda's prisons. High-profile case, just because she was on opposition, she was critical of the first lady, she was abused. This lady here you see is called Nabunya. That lady shaking the handshake, the hands, having a handshake with the president of Uganda. Lady there in uniform, she was called Nabunya. She was there being recognized by the president of the country. But why? This lady there refused the other lady you have seen, Stella Nyanzi, to meet her lawyers. Refused Stella Nyanzi to talk with her lawyers. She went ahead and told. Yes, Nicholas had written notes, was sharing notes with his client. Nicholas Opio is the lawyer there in suit. Stella Nyanzi, the lady there seated. Nicholas Nyanzi was sharing notes with his client, Stella Nyanzi. The lady you saw shaking the hands of having a handshake with the president, went ahead and stopped that meeting and went ahead and tore the notes which the lawyer had made to go and defend his client in a court of law. That lady there went ahead to get the papers from the lawyer and tear them so that the lawyer has no locus, has no information to base on to defend the client. Now you can see a woman torturing another woman, a woman because a woman is partisan. This woman here, you see, she's partisan now. She's interested more into having the good image before the politicians of the country than respecting the rights of a prisoner she is supposed to guard. That's why I brought this photo here. That woman there, in full glare of cameras, basically violated the rights of a prisoner in Uganda, denied a prisoner to access her lawyers. Now, these are rights that must be protected. A prisoner has a right to access her lawyers. A prisoner has a right to appeal a case. A prisoner on remand has the right not to actually go and work on any farm because the prisoner on remand is not yet committed, hasn't been sentenced, has the right to appear in court on time. Even a prisoner that has been sentenced has the right to appeal a case. All prisoners have rights to have bond, to appeal a case, but also to have bail. They can have bail and get out of prison because bail can be granted on so many grounds, including medical grounds. All prisoners have a right to bail. All people in police cells have a right to a bond, what we call a police bond. Now, these are rights that have been violated in Uganda, including denying prisoners to meet their lawyers. I'm a lawyer, and I've seen this, where in most cases, we have been denied to meet our clients, especially the LGBTI clients, the gay clients. It becomes very hard to go and meet them. The police officers think you are gay because you're actually going to advocate for gay rights. They also want to put you aside and imprison you for 1 hour or something like that, because they think if you come to defend a gay person, you are a gay person too. These rights are taken away from lawyers, are taken away from prisoners, are taken away from relatives of prisoners, including the recent act of annual examination of alleged gay people. You arrest people you think they are gay, and you subject them to an annual examination, which is against human rights, international human rights, and municipal law. There's no law that allows a police officer, that allows a doctor to check a man's anus, that we want to prove that this man is having gay sex. There's no law that allows that. But in Uganda, police officers are doing this, that they want to prove if this person is gay. Police officers in Uganda have gone ahead to defile, let me say, rape victims allegedly called homosexuals. Women who are allegedly lesbians and are taken to these police cells, policemen force them into sex. Now, these are violations of women's rights in prisons. Now, as human rights defenders, as Humans TV Africa, we condemn these violations of human rights, and we want to call upon all stakeholders in Uganda and in Africa to ensure that prisoners have their rights respected wherever they are. This has been episode 2 of Rights of Prisoners in Uganda. Thank you so much for being a good audience, and of course we shall be back with episode 3. Please remember to subscribe, and share Humans TV Africa. That's the handle. See you in the next one.